Hi friends! Welcome back to my channel! So, I've been keeping this a secret from you. You're welcome. No need to thank me. I broke my back. Okay, I didn't break my back, but I did a lot of hard work to participate in beta, and then I still missed 2 days, but you know what? That's okay. Margin of error. So in September, I should really just take it easy on myself as she rolls her eyes. It is currently September 5th, and I have finished 4 books, which means that I am a book behind on my 30 books in 30 days challenge that you had no idea about. So I'm going to quickly go over the 4 that I've already read, and I'm going to start another book tonight? Question mark? Maybe? Even though I'm behind, I'm still confident in the fact that I can do this because my weekends are when I get the most reading done, or my weekends are when I get the most reading done, so I could easily finish 2 books a day on my weekend, although this weekend I'm going to see Ed Sheeran, so I don't know how much reading I'm in. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Let me just talk about the 4 books that I've read so far in September. And I'm not really going to give you a TBR because I know me and it'll change quite a lot. But let's go. There was Always Be My Duchess by Emily Howard. This is a historical fiction, a historical romance, and to be honest with you, it's the first historical romance I've ever read. I very much so enjoyed this one. I think I gave it 4 stars, but you follow Stone and Genevieve? Yes, Genevieve and Stone. Stone is a duke, and he meets Genevieve outside of the theater that she is trying to get the courage to go back into because she's a ballerina, but for some reason she's not in that theater anymore, but I can't tell you because spoilers. But Stone, the Duke, has a questionable offer for the ballerina, and it's basically he wants to fake date her and then he's gonna pay her. So Pretty Woman, 90s comedy, 90s rom-com era, but it takes place in 1865 in London, and there's royalty, so a bunch of buzzwords that really I shouldn't like, but somehow it just worked so nicely. This book was just adorable, and it actually made me laugh out loud, and I don't laugh. Okay, I don't laugh when I read. Usually I look for the books that are going to tear my heart out, but this one just helped put it back together from all the other damaging things that I read. And it was just so wholesome and so cute. And I might be planning a historical fiction reading vlog now. A historical romance reading vlog now. Because I question if I love historical romance. Because this was so good. I think I only gave it 4 stars, but like, the more I think about it, the happier it makes me, the more I want to give it 5 stars. So I think I'm going to change Always Be My Duchess to a 5-star on Goodreads. Not that really the stars matter. And then I read The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. Some of y'all are going to say this doesn't count. But I DNF'd The Writing Retreat 50% in. Because the math just doesn't math. I wasn't enjoying the story anyway. But the math not mathing just took me completely out of the story. And I wasn't at all interested in finishing it. So I did DNF this one. But I'm still counting it because I got 50%. I was mainly listening to it on audio. And then when it came up, I was like, wait, I must have heard that wrong. So then I went back and listened to it again. And then I had to find my page. And yeah, I didn't hear it wrong. It just was weird that I made it 153 pages into this book and the math doesn't math. So if you know, you know. I guess light spoiler warning, maybe. If you don't, okay, see, here's the thing. If you're gonna write a book, that's great. I love that for you. But if you, I was a history major. Well, I was an English and a history major. I majored in English, minored in history, and then found education. But everyone knows that the Holocaust ended 74 years ago. Okay? So if you're talking about your age and you're saying that your family came over to the States after when the Holocaust ended, but you were 4 years old when the Holocaust ended, but yet in the book you're only 30, how is that possible? Unless this book took place years ago, but there's modern things like cell phones, and it took place in 2019. So either the math doesn't math correctly, or I'm nitpicking things that don't matter, or there's another option, okay? Or it really doesn't matter to most people, but for me, it just like irked me too much that now I was out of the story and I didn't really care, so I DNF'd it. Then I read Unbelievable by T. Christian Miller and Ken Armstrong. This is a nonfiction about two seemingly different rapes that have a lot more in common than you would think. So I don't think it's a spoiler because it's a true life case. But you follow this woman named Marie who, when she was 18 in 2008, she was brutally attacked in her home. And it was like near, I think it's Linwood, Washington, but it was near Seattle, and the police didn't believe her. And then 2 years later, in 2010, there are attacks happening near the Denver area that are very, very, very similar to Marie's case. And I don't read nonfiction. All I will say is that I knew a lot about this case, like, probably too much about this case before reading this book, so I personally didn't learn a lot from it. And I don't read these kind of books because they're enjoyable for me. Usually I just learn something. I don't know. So for me it was okay. But again, I don't write nonfiction, and the story itself is one that I feel like people need to hear. So if you don't know a lot about these cases, I feel like you should read this. My problem was that I've watched podcasts, I've listened to podcasts about it, I've watched different documentaries and episodes of TV shows that were inspired by this. So I already knew a lot. And then the last one that I just finished tonight, which I do understand puts me one day behind, or one book behind, is By Any Other Name by Lauren Cates. I hated the first half of this book. And I realized that I think when I was reading the first half, I wasn't like in my best mood, being my best self. So I'm not sure if the first half or the first like quarter of this book was as bad as my memory of it is. I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe if you're a reader, that makes sense. But I finished it today, and I absolutely loved the ending. Like, the ending just had me swooning for this couple. So this follows Lainey and Noah. So Noah and Lainey has been the assistant to the editor for like 7 years. And Noah is this author who is very, very private. But Noah, she hasn't written a book in a few years, and now she's finally ready to write another book. Mostly because Lainey, the agent, she was the assistant, now she's the agent. Mostly because she's kind of forcing Noah to want to write another book. And I can't really say anything else because, like, I know that's super vague, but Noah and Lainey end up hanging out a lot to figure out if they can be inspired for some romance so they can write their romance novel. Well, Noah's gonna write it, but Lainey's going to edit it. I don't like bookish books, and this was very bookish, but once we got into the meat and bones of the story, it reminded me a lot of Beach Read, and I do really like Beach Read. Beach Read has a special place in my heart, so ultimately I think I landed on a 3-star for By Any Other Name, but absolutely loved the ending of this book. So I know that it's the 5th of September, so I should really have 5 books here and not 4. But like I said, on the weekends I do read more, and I am in the middle of an audiobook anyway, so I'm not super worried about the fact that I'm one day behind technically, but I'm very excited that I'm challenging myself again because, hi, I'm Alita, welcome back to my channel. I have this problem where I like to challenge myself and make myself go crazy by doing too much, and also by doing all the challenges. I don't think that's a problem. Some people say it's a problem. Those people would be wrong.
Good morning. Yesterday, I caught you up on what I've been reading, and I think I had 4 things to share with you on the 5th day, so I was technically 1 book behind. Sorry, we're just gonna sit here for a moment while I talk to you. I was 1 book behind schedule, but I have already read 2 books this morning, or finished 2 books this morning. So I woke up early today so that I could read The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse by Charlie Macquarie. This one is, like, it has the really basic but cute illustrations like that. And it's really just about a boy, a mole, a fox, and a horse. And it kind of teaches a little bit about kindness. And at one point, semi-recently, this was all over BookTube. And I want to see when it came out. I think it came out in 2022, but I'm just going to find out. Anyways, it was fine. I'm probably going to give it 3 stars. Like, it was cute. It was cute. I don't really have anything else to say about it. And then I also, I've been reading this one for 2 days, but I finally finished it today. So, City of Ghosts by V.E. Schwab. This is a complete trilogy. I've only read the first one, City of Ghosts. There's also Tunnel of Bones and Bridge of Souls. So, in City of Ghosts, you meet Cassidy Blake, who can see ghosts. She actually goes to the, I think she calls it the Veil. But it takes place in Scotland, where her parents are filming like a reality ghost hunting show. Only they can't really see ghosts, but she can, but she doesn't tell them that she can. And, you know, it's just like an adventure type story. I thought it was only okay. I bought the whole bind up because at one point I wanted to read the whole thing. I think that I'm going to take my bookmark, because this is mine. And I think I'm going to add this to my library at school right behind us. It's fine. I just didn't fall in love with it. Like, I didn't hate it. It was fine. Probably both 3-star books. But that does mean that I've read 6 books in 6 days so far. So let's keep our fingers crossed. I already have tomorrow's book picked out, because if I'm being honest with you, sometimes I start it the night before so that I can finish it on the 7th day, or on the day that I'm supposed to finish it. I don't think that's cheating. And even if it is, too bad. I will update you tomorrow. Oh, do you think we can do 30 books in 30 days? I hope so. Hi. It is update time. So I'm clearly in the car with hubby. We are going to the Ed Sheeran concert in Las Vegas, so we have a little bit of a drive ahead of us. But I thought that I would update my vlog and tell you the 3 books that I've read. So it is the 8th day of September, and I have read 8 books. So I'm on track for 30 books in 30 days. That's terrifying to me, but I'm on track. So the first book was a Kindle book, It is called Intoxicated Poems by Valley Kenneth. I'm very sorry if I mispronounced that. I hated this book of poetry, if you can call it that. The spelling errors in there were terrible. Like, I know that sometimes punctuation doesn't exist with poetry, so I can be forgiving of the punctuation mistakes, but the fact that you can't spell realize correctly, and that realize is in that book maybe like 50 times, and the book is only like 100 pages. That just, grab a dictionary. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, but like, I actively did not like that book. But I didn't really feel like the poetry was like very poetic. It was just like simple 1 or 2 lines that are supposed to invoke some feelings. So maybe a book of quotes that you made up yourself rather than like poetry. Oh man, I'm so harsh right now. And then I read another Kindle book. I read Nighttime Lullabies, a collection of poetry by Avina Lemner. This one was okay. I gave it 3 stars, and like, it was fine, but it didn't really invoke any real emotion, and that's kind of why I love poetry, because like, usually it's just so beautiful and so powerful, and this one was just very flat for me. It was fine. I don't really have any negative feelings toward this one like I did the first one, but it was just fine. I'm probably never gonna think about either of them again, but it's just me. And then the third one is the book that I finished at school or at work today, and that is How to Fail at Flirting by Denise Williams. Okay, so Denise Williams is becoming one of my favorite romance authors. This was so cute, but it was more than that. There's like, I would definitely check the trigger warnings before you read this, because there are some really harsh things that happen to this woman, and like, okay, I don't think this is a trigger warning, but like, I mean, not trigger warning, spoiler, but like, if I read the back of the book and I find that this is not on the back of the book, then this is going to be a spoiler warning right here. But there's a lot of talk of domestic abuse, and there is an attempted assault on paper, explicitly written. So if that's something that you can't handle, then I would stay away from this book. I would actually stay away from, well, not all of Denise Williams' books are harder to read, but she does talk about a lot of the harder things in relationships. It's not always just gumballs and happiness all the time, because that's not true. I mean, it's hard work. So those are the 3 books that I've read since I last talked to you. Hopefully I'll start being a better vlogger and reconnect with you every single day. But, I have a life, so we'll see. Day 9 of reading a book a day. In September, I finished I Am Watching You by Teresa Driscoll. Okay, so I read like 70% of this book. Let's see. I will tell you exactly. So it's like 250-ish pages. I got to about page 163. I'm DNFing it. It's gonna be a 1-star. It's like a carbon copy of Girl on the Train. So if you like Girl on the Train, pick up I Am Watching You. Like, seriously, do it. I absolutely hated Girl on the Train. Girl on a Train, whatever. I hated that book. Hate this book. The only difference is that this follows like 4 characters. Instead of 1 mediocre character, you get 4 of them. They're all mediocre. I'm so bored. Like, not happening. I have nothing else to say to you right now. Maybe I'll teach you tomorrow.
So we are back. It is day 10 of the month, and on the way home, I listened to Dark Corners by Megan Goulding, which is the next book in the Rachel Cross series, which starts with Night Swim and goes to Dark Corners. I haven't rated it yet, but I think it's gonna be like 3-star. It was fine. But my expectations were like way up here, as high as the ceiling goes. And it was like, it just fell really flat for me. Mainly because, okay, I love The Night Swim. And The Night Swim is always going to be one of my favorite thrillers of all time. With that being said, it's mostly because of Rachel Craw, the main character in The Night Swim and in Dark Corners. But Rachel is no longer like Rachel. She doesn't act like herself. She's not amazing and awesome as she used to be. She's fine, I guess. But this book just fell way flat for me, and I don't think I'm going to continue on with the series if there's more in the series. In fact, I'm probably going to put Dark Corners up on Tango Books next month. It was fine, but I wish it was better.
It is the 12th of September, and I am officially 1 book behind schedule, but I am halfway through a book that hopefully I can finish tomorrow. And then maybe I can start the next one. I think it'll all even out on the weekends, but I have finished Good Girl Complex by L. Kennedy. I've decided that L. Kennedy is not the author for me. I tried reading, I think they're both part of the same series, the Briar U series with The Deal and The Mistake, I think. But they're 2 different, like, love story, new adult love stories, and they were, they just weren't good, in my opinion. It took me, like, months to read The Deal, and when I did, I was very disappointed. So, this took me, like, a day and a half to read, which puts me half a day behind. Good Girl Complex follows Mac, who's, like, perfect, and, you know what? I don't even care. I hated Good Girl Complex. Like, I was so excited for it. But it follows this girl named Mac, who is basically, after she meets one of the twins, Cooper is his name. He's a bartender. Basically, her boyfriend gets him fired, or like he blames Mac's boyfriend. So Cooper comes up with this plan to basically make Mac fall in love with him and essentially steal this girl, or like this girlfriend, from this townie, as they refer to them. Or not this townie, this tourist. He's not a townie. Cooper is the townie because he lives in Avalon Bay. And the tourist, like the college student, whatever. I think they call them clones or something in this book. It was terrible. It was just terrible because if you've been on my channel for a while, then you'll remember when I read Jay's Gay Agenda by Jason June. And I basically said that I hated that book because of the cheating. Yeah, well, the whole plot is Cooper trying to steal this person. First off, you can't steal people because we are not property. And I know, like, we could go on a whole tangent about that aspect on its own. Because a lot of people are like, no, like, the wife belongs to the husband, or the husband belongs to the wife. No. I'm my own freaking person, yeah? I have a husband and I love him dearly. But if he, like, said that I was his property, then we would have issues. We would have more than issues. Like, no. I'm no one's property. A girlfriend is not a piece of property to her boyfriend. So that's like point number 1. Point number 2 is, okay, I'm all for like mean people, karma, or like bullies getting payback, or like, payback because you were bullied or whatever, kind of. But essentially, I just think karma will get you. So if you're gonna be a punk, then karma will come and get you eventually. But this one it rubbed me in all the wrong ways. I will never read another Elle Kennedy book because that's like 3 for 3 that I've absolutely hated. And I know a lot of people love Elle Kennedy. I'm so happy for you. But for me personally, her books just don't work. And the whole so I'm gonna spoil this. I told you what this book is about, but basically Mac, she does ultimately cheat on her boyfriend with Cooper. And he basically wins the girl, or steals the girl or whatever. But a big plot point is that she cheats with Cooper. And then she finds out that her boyfriend, I don't even remember his name, I'm sorry, but her boyfriend cheated on her and has been cheating on her for 2 years. And she gets so distraught and so upset, but she's doing the same thing. She's cheating on him. So why is it such a double standard? clearly, I don't know. This book was just so messed up. Cannot get over it. Will not get over it. On the bright side, at the end of this month, this will be going up on Pango. I'm gonna trade it in at my store. I don't know, but this book is triggering me right now, and I'm getting very angry over a book because, like, such double standards, and women are not property. I mean, no, humans are not property. Ugh. So, I clearly need to leave. I clearly need to leave this vlog. So, I hope I will see you tomorrow. Good morning. I still think I am one book behind, but I finished Gone Tonight by Sarah Pekkanen, and it was interesting. It is a thriller, and the first one that I've read by this author alone. I've read stuff from her and Dear Hendricks before, and I don't know, they're kind of like middle of the road authors for me, and this is kind of how I felt about Gone Tonight. I don't know what I can tell you because it's a thriller and there are so many layers to the story. Just, I guess what I can tell you is that this follows Ruth and her daughter, Catherine, and Ruth. And Ruth, at the very beginning of the book, it looks like she is getting early onset dementia, which is something that really hits close to home for me, and something that I don't take lightly. And then this book is full of twists and turns that, like, I'm not sure how I feel about this book in general. I think I liked it enough, but at the same time, I really absolutely hate it when people use medical things like early onset dementia in the way that it was used in that book. So I really don't know how I feel about this book. I kind of feel numb towards it. Because on one hand, like, it was full of twists and turns and it was interesting enough. But on the other hand, like, I absolutely hate when people use dementia for the reason that I feel like it was used in that book. So I probably don't like it as much as I thought I did. I don't know. It's like a 2 to 3 star, so maybe a 2.5 star. I think I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads, but the more I think about it, the more I'm unsure about that. I finished Partners in Crime by Alicia Ray. I don't know where my physical copy is because I started the first few chapters physically and then I got tired last night and listened to the rest on audiobook today. So I have no idea where my physical copy is, but I did read it. I'm not sure. Like, there were aspects of this book that I really, really enjoyed. There's this couple that used to date, so they're exes, they get kidnapped together And then they have to, like, survive, and they find out all these secrets about each other, and maybe they end up falling in love with each other again. Or for the first time. There were some really good things. I really liked the character work. I was bored by the whole kidnapping situation and the twist that's in there. And I was just bored by this whole thing. I'm probably gonna give it like a 2.5 or 3 stars. I usually round my 2.5 to 3 stars, so it's a 3-star book. It was fine. It was kind of fun, but mostly just boring and slow. So if you like boring and slow books, pick this one up. Now, it is September 15th, and I have read 14 books. So I am behind. And then I work tomorrow. I work 6 days a week for the next 3 weeks. Like, why would I do that to myself? So, am I gonna legitimately be able to do this? I mean, I hope so. But I'll probably see you tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Funny story. I did not find partners in crime for a very long time. I went to work and I put Partners in Crime, the book, in my fridge at work. I don't know. Don't ask. I have no idea. So when I found it like a week later in my fridge, actually in my freezer, it was weird. I don't know what I was thinking. I have not updated this vlog in so long. Almost to the point where I almost thought about just like not doing it and not showing you this footage at all. So originally at the beginning of September, I decided to do the 30 books in 30 days challenge. It is day 25 of September, and I am behind. So I'm thinking Sunday. Yes, Sunday is October. So I just have to read a lot. So tomorrow's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Technically, I should only have 5 books left, but I think I'm 5 books behind. So that means that I need to read 10 books in the next 5 days. That's 2 books a day. But I mean, I am in the middle of a lot of books, so if I time it just right, I might be able to do it. I don't know. Anyways, let me quickly go over some things with you. I read My Murder by Katie Williams. I feel frauded. Frauded? That's not even a real thing, but on Book of the Month a couple months ago when this was choice, it said like thrills and chills and like it's really nice. Well, not really nice, but like it's a thriller. It's an action-packed thriller. It is not. It is a very slow literary fiction about this woman that dies, and like I can't give you spoilers, but I was so bored. I was bored. I think I gave it 1 star. Then I also read How One Therapist in a Circle of Strangers Saved My Life by Christy Tate. I've been wanting to read this for so many years. And you know, it's a autobiography. I don't normally rate them, but it was enjoyable. And I feel weird saying that because it's
got extreme content in here about like eating disorders and abuse and things like that. I don't know if I'm ever gonna reread it, but it was good, fine. It was written well. I also listened to the audiobook on that one, so it felt like Christy Tate was talking to me, telling me all her secrets. Then I read The Housekeeper by Natalie Barelli. I think on Goodreads I gave it 4 stars, but this was a 5-star thriller. It was just so good because going into it, you know that the housekeeper is a con woman. And it says she's a stalker, she's a liar, she's in your house. And I was just like, okay, that grabbed my attention, it got me hooked. And then there was like some twisted things that happened, and I don't want to say anymore because spoilers, but holy, just like my mind was blown. I loved this book. It might be a new favorite thriller. I think it's a new favorite thriller. And I also read The Stranger Upstairs by Lisa M. Matlin. You're going to see a lot of Book of the Month edition books because I'm trying to do the Super Secret Challenge. Like, you're supposed to read 12 books to unlock a prize, which I did, and I got this little stuffed pig keychain thing, and it's really cute. But if you continue the challenge, I think you have to read 30 Book of the Month books, then you win some kind of other prize. I do remember being severely disappointed last year when I did it, but maybe this year they'll throw me like a book or something, like a free book for finishing the challenge. This one says, a gruesome history, a hostile neighborhood, a new owner with a shocking secret, welcome to Blackwood House. So this woman buys the murder house to renovate it, and then like scary stuff happens. This was so good. Was it cheesy? Probably. Did I still enjoy all the cheese with this book? Yes. Which is ironic because I can't eat cheese. But it was so good. It was a lot of fun. I think I gave it 4 stars. I might keep it on my favorite shelf because it just made me feel good. That sounds really wrong because it's like Murder House and you wonder if things are haunted and paranormal and like you visibly see Sarah, who kind of goes down the rabbit hole, and she just goes down and oof, it was crazy. You know what? I'm gonna grab my phone and see how many books I've actually read to see if it's possible. I think I still have to read 10 more. However, I'm at the end of 1, I'm in the middle of 2, and at the beginning of 1. So that's, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Let's see, Goodreads. My books. Okay. So let's see how many I have. Oh, okay. That's too far. September. Okay, so we're getting close. 1, 2, 3. November. Oh, August.
So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so I'm at 20 of 25. So I don't know if I'm going to make it or not. That means I have 10 books left. I mean, we will see. Oh, I also finished The Devil Takes You Home by Gabino and Iglesias. I hated that book. How I Lost You by Ginny Blackhurst. I also didn't really like that. I think it was very unmemorable for me, and I just read it, so I gave it 2 stars. Oh, and The Stranger Upstairs was actually 3 stars, but yeah. Let's see if I can do this. I have 10 days to finish. 5 days to finish 10 books. My odds are not ever in my favor. If you know, you know. Okay. So I did finish my 21st book, which is Missing Molly by Natalie Borelli. And if you're wondering, yeah, same author. So here's the thing though. I absolutely adored every part of the housekeeper, because like I went in knowing she was a con woman and that she was probably super unreliable, but I had no idea the lengths any of them would go. Like that entire book just like blew my mind, and it was amazing, and I loved every second of it. I really thought that I was going to love Missing Molly. I wasn't entirely sure about the housekeeper, but man was I wrong, because Missing Molly was so dull, so boring, and like you follow this con woman again, I guess, who, there was this tragedy like 20 years ago where this entire family was murdered, except for Molly, who got away. She was like a teenager at the time, and now she works at the newspaper blog or whatever that is investigating what happened to Molly from 20 years ago. And then it just gets kind of weird, and I didn't like that it kept going back. I didn't like the storyline from 20 years ago. And like, I just didn't really love this book. For me, it's probably like a 2-star. I haven't rated it yet because I literally just finished it. I'm probably going to be selling this one because I really wanted to love it, but I didn't. Okay, now I will probably see you tomorrow with an update with maybe 2 books. Now, is it cheating? I'm just throwing this out here. Is it cheating if some of the books, because I have to read 9 books in 10 days. No, 9 books in 5 days. Is it cheating if I pick like Shiloh or Charlotte's Web? I've never read Charlotte's Web, and it's small. Or like Brindle, you know, like they're all pretty small. They're all middle grade. Where the Red Fern Grows is a little bit chunkier, but is one of my favorite books of all time. I can just power through it. Or like Small Steps. This is a children's book as well. Is that cheating? Is that cheating? I want to say no, because I want to pad my TBR with these and then finish. That's probably cheating. That's cheating. I know. Dang. Okay, well, I'll see you tomorrow with whatever I end up reading. If I end up reading. Oh, please say I read. Okay. I think that I updated this vlog like 3 days ago. And I think at the time I said I needed 10 books in 5 days. I don't think we're gonna make it there. I think I'm close to 30, but it is currently the 29th of September, and I'm ready to end this vlog. I hope I have 30 books. After I film this, I'm actually gonna go find out how many books I read because it's all on Goodreads. But I'm gonna start by updating you on, was it 2 or 3? I think it's 2 Kindle books that I read. The first one is The Villa by Rachel Hawkins. I gave this 2 stars. And like, it was fine-ish, I guess. I just don't think that Rachel Hawkins is the thriller author for me. I have read one of her romance fantasy books. Like, it was a witchy book, but it was romance, that she wrote as Erin Sterling. And I enjoyed that one more than I've ever liked any of her thrillers. So maybe I'll just stick in that realm. The second book on Kindle that I read was by Kennedy Ryan. It's called The Bedroom Experiment by Kennedy Ryan. I found out it was actually 5.5 in a series, but it was like, honestly, it was really short book. It was about these 2 who are step siblings, and then they have, like, they want to be more than step siblings. It was weird. It was really weird to read. Very smutty. It was like, I think I gave it 2 stars. And then I just realized that I actually finished a audiobook as well. So I finished This Is How You Lose the Time War by Max Gladstone. I finally read my Buzzword-a-thon book for the month of September, you know. Better late than never. I'm not even late though. This was sci-fi, time travel told through letters. I'm still not entirely sure what happened in that book. It was weird and definitely not for me. I only gave it 1 star, but I know that I'm the unpopular opinion, so that's fine. Then I read, I don't know if I talked about Missing Molly by Natalie Borelli. I had just read The Housekeeper by this author. By the way, I loved The Housekeeper. I'm pretty sure I already told you how amazing this book was. But I was on a, like, book high from that book. So I decided to pick up another by this author and really wish I hadn't. This was really boring. And there's also, like, this podcast element that I thought I would love. The narrator is unreliable, and I thought I would love that. But, I don't know, it just didn't work for me. Then I read You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Genevieve Rose. I feel, I didn't know anything about this. I just knew that people love this author and that she's supposed to be like this amazing thriller author, and maybe she is. However, this is not a thriller. I know it's marketed as a thriller, but it's not. It's romance, and I am a romance reader, so it's fine, but when I go into a book expecting it to be a thriller, that's when I have issues. So I really didn't like this book either. And then I finished Romantic Comedy by Curtis Stinfeld. So here's the thing. Like, it's a beautiful book. It's pink. It's very cute. I loved the first half of this book. It took place in 2018, and I really liked the banter and the chemistry, and I even liked the behind-the-scenes look on a show like SNL, which I really didn't think I would like, but I loved that part. Then you kind of like, you get nothing until 2020, so 2 years later, and there's a pandemic, you know, and it just really took me out of the story, because like, if they connected so much in 2018 that in 2020 when the pandemic starts they finally reach out to each other, like, first off, it just didn't make sense to me, and second off, I didn't feel the chemistry. I didn't feel anything. Like, the banter didn't even seem real anymore, and it just felt very disjointed and disconnected for me personally. So I gave it, like, it's somewhere like a 3 to a 3.5, but I just wish that last half of the book could be completely rewritten. So I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we read 7. Oh, but I have one more day. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna do it. Okay, you know what? We're gonna go look. So close. I'm so close. But I don't have any like really short books that I could just have. Okay, I'm gonna go look at my Goodreads and see if I missed any. Because if I missed any, then this could be good for me. And then we're gonna go count how many books I actually read. I think I'll take you with me. Okay, so the first book I read this month is right here. It's Unbelievable. It's not a group of 5, so that scares me. Let's do something. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's not a group of 5, so that scares me. I think that I'm gonna be at 27 books, but let's count it. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28. Oh my gosh, I'm only 2 books away. And I have one more day, technically, if I really wanted to push myself. I did realize that I did not tell you about Hello Stranger, which is the newest Catherine Center book about this woman that has this condition in her brain, which is basically face blindness after she has head surgery, brain surgery, and she can't recognize faces, and then she just so happens to start dating this really cute guy around the same time that she has surgery, and things become messy and complicated and kind of funny, to be honest. I did enjoy that one. I think I gave it 4 stars because I did see the plot line. Like, I saw it coming from a mile away, but I still had a lot of fun with it. So there's that one. Oh my gosh, but I'm only 2 books away. Man, I might have to try. Oh, it was The Bedroom Experiment by Kendall Ryan, not Kennedy Ryan. I don't know. Whatever. So I mean, I'm in the middle of all these books, but I also work in the morning. Yes, I'm working on a Saturday because I'm crazy. Ugh. You guys already know I'm gonna attempt to read 2 more books by tomorrow at midnight. Ugh. Man. Why do I do this to myself? Okay, I will see you either later or tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. Good morning. So it is September 30th. And last night I read this poetry book by R.H. Sin. Broken Girl, or I don't know. Whatever. It should be on the screen. I didn't like it. So I'm also going to unhaul the other book by this author. Then I listened to The Love Connection by Denise Williams. I do not like romance novellas. Like, they don't work for me. Because there's no banter, there's no chemistry, there's no longing for that person because it's like, oh, I just met you, but let's fall in love. No. There has to be some character development, some longing. I guess what I'm saying is that I prefer longer romance books. There has to be some kind of like, oh yeah, that was weird. There has to be some kind of longing, some kind of character development, some kind of banter, and it feels like in romance novellas specifically, it's always just like, okay, well, this happened and that's it. There's no, I saw him from across the room. Our eyes met, and then I flipped him off, and oh no. Okay? But there's none of that. There's none of that need for anything. So, I don't know. I was disappointed with those 2 books, but that's okay. We're moving on. I have work today, so that's why I look like this. Well, see, it's Saturday, and Saturday is when I get to wear my cowgirl hat and dress, like, really nice. But I have training today at work. So you know what? I'm just gonna wear my cowgirl boots and my cowgirl hat, and oh well. Sorry, not sorry. But I guess this is the end of my vlog of reading 30 books in 30 days in September. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're new around here. And I will catch you in the next video. Whoosh!